You done anything at all about that editor, John Clum?
Well, no. He's a newspaper man. He thinks that...
I don't care what he thinks. Now, he can be put out of business. You're the sheriff. It's your job.
The newspaper doesn't have much circulation.
I read it, and my boys read it. Supposing some of the wrong people in Washington get hold of a copy. Now, the nugget is on our side. Anyway, one newspaper's enough for a town. You run that fella out of Tombstone.
That's easier said than done, Mr. Clanton.
What I say, you do.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, starring Hugh O'Brien.
John P. Clum, mayor of Tombstone and editor of one of its newspapers, paid in many ways for his support of Marshal Wyatt Earp and his courageous stand against Sheriff Behan and the outlaw faction. Present-day newspapermen have little understanding of what it meant to run an honest newspaper in Tombstone, Arizona in 1881. Powerful politicians were determined to ruin Clum, force him to sell his paper, or if these tactics failed, kill him.
Come on, let's go. You get it, let's get it. No. Let's get the whole thing. Come on, let's go. Let's get it on. Get him out of
No, you just leave him be, son. You're going to go out there and you're going to pick up every one of my papers.
Get out there!
You picked him up!
No. I'll sue you for this.
Hold it, John. What's your temper? Are you going back to your office?
If that Dameron had any brains, I'd kick him out!
John, get off the street. All right, folks, go on home. Go on, break it up. Boy saved most of the papers. How'd this start?
I'll tell you how it started. That Johnny Behan and his Tucson gang are out to bust me. Look, I've been informed that I don't get to print any more of the county legal notices. All that work's going to go to the Nugget from now on.
That's rough. What will it cost you?
About $100 a month, at least.
That won't break you, will it?
No. No, it won't break me, not by itself. Look at here. They've started to work on my advertising. Cancellations from advertisers. 5 of them. 5 of them just since yesterday. Now, Dameron couldn't do that all by himself, Wyatt. Johnny Behan has got his orders.
All right. What can I do?
Well, they'll probably try and smash us up again. Break up the press, burn down the tent.
I'll put an extra deputy on guard here.
Thank you, Wyatt. Thank you. But this advertising boycott's the rough one. They keep that up long enough, that'd break me.
It won't. I'll talk to Miss Nellie and the Citizen Safety Committee, have them talk to the advertisers. The main trouble, John, is that You've got almost as bad a temper as I have.
Well, Wyatt, I've wanted to clobber that Dameron for months.
He's just a hired hand. Don't waste your strength. You clobber him in print.
No, I'm going to clobber Johnny Bean in print, and right now.
No, sir.
And why not?
Because you know that Bean's just itching to sue you for libel.
Libel. Let him sue me.
Now, take it easy, John. You can't afford to pay a libel judgment along with everything else, right?
Of course, you're right.
I'll talk to Miss Nellie. In the meantime, you just ignore what happened out there in the street.
All right, Wyatt.
I promise you. As soon as we get some proof on Bean, I'll be the first one to back you up.
Well, thank you, Wyatt. I'm sorry. I guess I blew up out there pretty good, didn't I?
Who hasn't? You know, a newspaper can't afford to lose its temper.
This is a personal favor, Sheriff. Or is there any money in it?
Money. $50 apiece if you do the job. $20 on account right now.
That's good pay. You just name the job.
I want you to break into Clum's office. I want you to be very careful.
Ruby, Soren? You think you could crack a skull with one of those?
Those are deadly weapons, Mr. Clum.
They're lovely, boss. Now, who do we clobber?
Well, I've got a hunch that Mr. Bean is going to try and wreck our press one of these nights. Now, the advertisers called off their boycott this afternoon. So that doesn't leave the gentleman much else to do.
Why, the nasty worm.
Let him just try it.
Now, Marshal Earp has assigned us special deputies. We got one patrolling out back, and there's another out front.
Well, that's good. And the only other way a man could get in is through that old deserted mine shaft under the floor. And we got that crossbarred.
Well, you take the crossbar off of it.
But, boss, they might have guns.
Now, they're not going to be expecting anybody to be on guard in here. Our big advantage is going to be surprise. Besides, if they do show up, wouldn't you like a crack at them? Well, go on, unbar it.
All clear, Tom. Hand the hammers up.
Where do we start?
Right there. That's the one the man wants busted.
That won't take long.
Where's Mr. Clum?
Down there, fighting that other.
You watch him. Keep those two from hitting him anymore.
Mr. Clum, hold it.
Look at you. Mayor Clum of Tombstone. Why didn't you call the deputy?
It wasn't time.
Axe handles. Could have killed two men.
Sorry I didn't.
When's your wife coming home?
She's catching the stage from the railroad at Benson tomorrow.
No. You're going to go to Benson the stage and pick her up and bring her back yourself. You take Rappy along just in case.
Me? Why me?
Now, you look, Wyatt. I happen to be...
You happen to be a hot-tempered man with a lot of provocation to go around bashing skulls in. You go pick up your wife. She can calm you down on the way home.
You giving me orders, Wyatt?
No, just good advice. Shotgun and I will say we had to subdue these men.
Why? I'm not going to go hiding behind you.
You are this time. Your paper happens to be the only way we're going to have honest news around here. Now, you want people to think it's edited by a hot-tempered brawler?
No. I see your point, Wyatt.
Thanks.
What? Doc Holliday left this here note for you.
I'm wrong, Wyatt?
Doc Holliday seems to think so. Of course, Pete Spence may have been making drunk talk. On the other hand, it could be true. Frank Stillwell is Bean's deputy.
He thinks they may try stopping the stage and killing me, huh?
They might. I can tell you what you do. You get off the stage, at the first water stop, hide in the brush. Mr. Gibbs and I will be alone.
All right.
Howdy, Marshal.
Howdy, Mr. McDaniels. Hey, what else are you carrying besides passengers?
Nothing but Wells Fargo box and a mail sack.
I had a tip that you may be stopped down the trail from your first halt for water.
Well, in that case, you better ride shotgun.
No, that'd be a tip-off that I knew about it. Tell you what, if you are stopped, don't make a fight. I'll be along. You just get a good look at the road agents.
You're the marshal.
All aboard. Come on, folks. Stage is leaving.
All right, honey. You have a good time and take care of yourself.
I will. Bye, dear.
Bye.
We should take Clum right at the water stop.
No, I got my orders from Bean, Pete. Johnny gets fidgety about deals like this. Newspaper editors ain't supposed to get killed.
Now, the blabbermouths should be killed.
Yeah, the way you can bury 'em quick and deep. We'll take 'em right down there.
Is the grave dug?
Right over by the cottonwood. Some old man Clanton's boys worked last night. Johnny Bean thinks everything.
Well, I'm taking it better now, Frank. Because if there's anything I hate, it's digging a grave on a hot day.
For water, folks. 5 minutes.
Howdy, Marshal Earp. I'm looking for a Mr. Clum. He's supposed to get off the stage here.
He wandered off into the brush over yonder. Figured he was killing time. I reckon he killed too much of it, though. I left without him.
Oh, thank you.
Let's go.
All right, everybody out. John Clum ain't aboard.
But we can still collect some money. Hand down that box.
Oh, you sure got yourself lost.
Well, I wanted to make it look good, Wyatt.
Well, if we hustle, may stop him from robbing that stage.
I don't know, Wyatt. They got a pretty big lead on us.
Well, we got to give it a good try, Mr. Gibbs. I'm sure Mr. Reppy won't like being held up any more than Wells Fargo will. What's the matter with your mule? Is he sick?
No, sir. You just don't see no sense in working in all this heat.
Promise him another apple.
Pay attention now. I'll give you an apple if you don't balk. And I'll give you a whooping if you do. Yeah!
Now, let's go.
Why, you didn't even fire a shot. What kind of driver are you?
They took my watch that was imported from Switzerland.
I'm going to report you to Wells Fargo, driver.
Now, you do just that. If I'd have fired at him, one of you people would have got shot.
Anybody hurt?
They just rode off. Can't be more than a half a mile away.
Go get him, Marshal.
Lady, you get inside and rest yourself.
I'll help you, ma'am.
Recognize anybody?
Frank Stillwell. He was masked, but he's wearing the same pair of fancy boots I saw him in Bisbee last week.
Describe the boots.
Well, they were light tan with silver thread stitching. Very fancy. Look here. Heel prints. Stillwell was a Texan. See the Lone Star pattern on those boot heels?
Are you sure it was Frank Stillwell?
I take an oath on it.
What? Now we've got him. Ian's own deputy robbing a stagecoach.
No, sir.
What do you mean, no, sir?
I haven't caught Stillwell or the man that was with him yet.
Well, now, Mr. McDaniel's word is good enough for me.
Well, now, you're not going to print that.
Well, I certainly am, Wyatt. It's a story I've been waiting for. Now, you just stick to arresting Stillwell and let me publish my newspaper.
You better go slow, Mr. Clum.
You just read page 1, Wyatt.
Hey, boss, what about me?
You go on to Benson, Reppy. Meet Mrs. Clum and see that she gets home safely, you hear? Mr. Soren. Mr. Soren!
Yes, sir. Here's page 1.
You tear it up, Mr. Soren.
Tear it? Well, what happened? Somebody shoot Governor Fremont?
I write and you print. Now get going, Mr. Soren.
Yes, sir, boss.
Wyatt, have you seen this?
Yes.
What can John prove what he wrote?
Well, I don't know. Bean's going to sue. Judge Spicer will be here tonight. Doesn't give me much time.
But he can't afford to pay a judgment. We all tried to get him to hold on to his temper. This means he'll lose the newspaper, doesn't it?
Probably. Unless I can find Frank Stillwell.
Stillwell, is that the deputy that he wrote about?
Yeah.
He just came into town not half an hour ago with Pete Spence.
You sure?
They pulled up in front of the Birdcage Saloon.
Excuse me.
It appears to be in good working order to me.
What about a drink, Shotgun?
Yeah. Give me the usual sarsaparilla. And put a right smart ice in it, will you?
You bet. Want one for Roscoe, too?
No, not today. He's got the colic.
Is Roscoe another one of Earp's deputies?
No, he's my mule.
You trying to make a joke?
I don't joke about Roscoe. I wouldn't take it kindly if you used to make small of him, mister. Lay off, Pete.
Mr. Gibbs, I'll take over patrol. You go look after Roscoe.
Well, thank you, Wyatt. I got to walk that critter and cool him out a bit. I didn't ask this one with a star. How come he's a-wearing it?
I'm Frank Stillwell, and I'm Bean's deputy over at Bisbee.
Well, ask Bean.
I believe you, Mr. Stillwell. Mr. Gibbs, check your shotgun?
Yep. Like to have some ice water, Marshal?
No, thanks. I gotta hustle along. You seeing you, Mr. Stillwell?
Sarsaparilla and ice water.
Shut it. We're in the clear. We keep it that way.
Criminal libel, that's what it is.
Yes, but Sheriff
Don't
Bean...
yes but me. Now, you go draw up the papers. You know what I want you to do. Get out, Bates.
Oh, Marshal, won't you talk to the sheriff? He wants to sue Mayor Clum for $50,000.
You heard what I said. Go draw up the papers, now.
You're the one who's suing.
I think I better go look for a certain party.
Yeah, look in all the saloons. Who you sore at, Johnny?
As if you didn't know.
Now, if I were you, I wouldn't sue Mr. Clum. He just might prove it on you.
No deputy of mine is a stage robber, and I didn't plot to murder Clum. I'm going to arrest that fool on a criminal libel warrant. Let's see you try to stop me.
This defendant willfully, maliciously libeled Sheriff Bean. By the evidence of this newspaper, Mr. Clum accused Sheriff Bean of appointing a road agent as his deputy, and by implication connected him with an alleged attempt on Mr. Clum's life. We therefore ask that the court rule for the plaintiff in the civil libel action, and that Mr. Clum be remanded to jail pending sentence for criminal libel. Mr. Clum.
Yes, Your Honor.
The only defense a newspaper man has against an action of this kind is to prove that his newspaper told the truth. Now, do you have any evidence to support your charges against Sheriff Bean?
Well, I haven't had time to verify all of my evidence, Your Honor. Sheriff Bean arrested me just this afternoon. However, Marshal Earp is working on the case right now.
He has no proof. He printed lies. Lies!
Sit down, sir. Now, Mr. Clum, a newspaper has no right to accuse anyone of a felony unless it is prepared to offer substantial proof. Now...
The court, please.
Yes, Mr. Earp.
This is Mr. Frank Stillwell, appointed deputy sheriff by Sheriff Bean. At the robbery today, I saw prints of these heels. Mr. Clum, Mr. Gibbs, and I can testify as having seen the prints. This gentleman here will testify that he changed these heels for Mr. Stillwell. Mr. Stillwell is now wearing low heels, new ones, as the court can see.
Sheriff Bean, Mr. Earp has produced strong circumstantial evidence that your deputy, Mr. Stillwell, did take part in that stage robbery.
A pair of boot heels.
More than that, Your Honor. I can produce Levi McDaniel, driver of the stage. Mr. McDaniel is prepared to positively identify Mr. Stillwell as being at the robbery.
I can't help it if one of my deputies goes wrong.
You appointed him. You even defended him until the weight of evidence began to frighten you. It is the advice of this court that you drop your charges against Mr. Clum. If you take this case before a jury, you may be found guilty of collusion, and a charge of malfeasance in office would then be in order. Now, what do you say?
I'll drop the charges.
Wyatt, you just wait till John Bean reads my edition tomorrow. I'm going to run a cartoon of a skunk nailed to a barn door. And editorially, I'm going to say...
Editorially, you were going to say?
That he's a knave, a poltroon, and a double-dealing scoundrel. Such as John Bean, and such as he is, my newspaper will always fight. That's what I'm going to say, editorially.
John Clum, fighting editor.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame and long live his glory. long may his story be